Food versus drugs. You can see it in the terminology doctors use. They almost never use the word cure. There are treatments, improvements, remissions, but there are no cures. The current system of modern medicine concentrates on disease management and symptom suppression, and not necessarily targets the cause of a disease. It works well enough for now, but therein lies the key words, for now. Everyone tends to rely on modern medicine too heavily. We take it for granted all the fantastic achievements that has led to an ever-increasing lifespan over the years. We think to ourselves that if we're sick, we just need to see a doctor, pop a pill, and then we'll be all better. Thinking this way is a disservice to ourselves. The current system is good, but it's not perfect. It can lead to this blind faith in medicine, in drugs, this thought of no matter what I eat, no matter what I do to my own body, as long as I can get to the hospital, the doctors will save me. If there's no pill I can take, then that is the end of me. A better system is this: an ideal world where health promotion is emphasized, and instead of trying to cure a disease, we try to correct the underlying cause of a disease and stop it from happening to begin with. To do that, we can start with something simple: changing our diet. Eating better provides our body with a strong foundation. A strong foundation is the key to a strong body. Without a strong foundation, any crack will be enough to crumble the building. If our body is weak, then it doesn't matter how good our medicine is, how good our modern drugs are. There is no saving us. For example, the elderly and young children are particularly susceptible to infection. Infections, especially bacterial infections, are something most of us consider modern medicine to have a cure for: antibiotics. With antibiotics, we no longer die from simple infections like wound infections. However, these medicines work together with the body's own defense mechanism, our immune system, to rid us of disease. If your immune system is weak, if your body is weak, then it doesn't matter what medications you are given, there is little hope. For example, most people do not die of pneumonia since we have antibiotics that can treat it. However, there are those who have a weak immune system who will die of pneumonia despite using the antibiotics. Doctors can give them the strongest antibiotics they have, but there are limitations to how much they can give without destroying the other organs in the body. In fact, our modern medicine isn't as modern as you might think. Penicillin, our very first antibiotic, was discovered in 1928, but it wasn't until about 1944 that it was ready for widespread use. When we're looking at disease, instead of focusing on improving symptoms or slowing the progression of a disease, let's focus on the root cause of many diseases: a weak immune system. In the medical world, no one would call food, a vegetable, fruits, or fiber that we eat a cure. The products that we eat, they are not a cure. They are not a treatment, and they cannot treat existing medical conditions. But a healthy immune system is the foundation upon which all else depends on. So regardless of whether doctors want to call a therapy a cure or not, in order to recover from an illness, we have to have a strong foundation. Every cause of illness can be viewed as a lack of health. We don't get an infection because of an invading bacteria. We get an infection because our immune system couldn't fight off the invading bacteria. The best way to avoid illness is to improve our health. To do this, we don't need a miracle pill or the fountain of youth. We just need a few things. We need to be informed about our health and take responsibility for our health. Instead of floating through life willy-nilly and choosing foods based on what is the most delicious or what we feel like eating, we need to take a closer look at our choices, at our actions. Is what we're doing good for us? Will the future you, years down the line, thank you for your choices today? Or will the future you be suffering from illness and curse the choices that you made today? When we're choosing foods for the dining table, we should choose based on what these foods can do for us, how these foods can help us become healthier, and how they can support our immune system so that we can try to stay healthier for longer. To help us with this, let's take a look at a brief introduction to our immune system. The immune system is your body's innate defense system against any foreign invaders. It's made up of special cells, proteins, tissues, and organs. The bone marrow is also part of your immune system. It helps produce the immune cells, so it's a main immune organ. The thymus is also part of your immune system. Part of the immune cells are sent to the thymus for training. It's a bit like the training ground of your soldiers where you can train them to do specialized actions. Your tonsils are also part of your immune system. It helps defend you against infections in that area, but a lot of people have them taken out without knowing this. Your spleen is a bit like an ammunition production facility. It has a store of immune cells like a store of ammunition. Your lymph nodes are a bit like a filter or a trap. It traps all the enemies in one place, so your soldiers have an easier time destroying them. Your appendix is also part of your immune system. A lot of people have appendicitis and have it taken out without knowing this, but it helps protect you against infections in that area. So next up, let's have a closer look at all the different specialized cells within your blood. For simplicity, within your blood, you're going to see the majority of B cells and T cells. The white blood cells are your immune cells. We can divide them into two large categories, B cells from the bone marrow and T cells from the thymus. The B cells produce your antibodies. They are like bullets in an army. The amazing thing is that the white blood cells identify the enemy and can recognize it. When it shows up again, the cells are going to recognize it and be able to destroy it faster and target it better. On the screen, you can see a representation of an antibody. We have 1 billion different types of antibodies in our defense. We have antibiotics against bacteria, but we have just a little bit over 100. Nothing compared to the effectiveness of our own immune system. And if you have a viral attack, you're really depending on your immune system to protect you. So on the screen, you can see the foreign invaders and the antibodies coming in. Now, like I mentioned before, your cells can recognize the foreign invaders and produce specific antibodies against them. When they match up, then the foreign invader will be destroyed. And in this way, our own immune system can best protect us from any foreign invaders. Next up, we're going to be looking at another type of immune cell, the macrophage. I also like to call them the garbage men. The macrophage works in a slightly different way. They take care of foreign invaders by engulfing them, a bit like eating them. So it helps engulf garbage or any foreign invaders. However, once the macrophage is out, it also enhances the production of antibodies. So it almost looks like hands. You can see it engulfing the foreign material. It also helps take out the trash. Now, our red blood cells have a lifespan of about 120 days. So it takes a macrophage to clean it all up, all the aged, damaged, or dead cells. And in this way, the macrophage can also help with regeneration. Now, when we're looking at cells in our body, there are many different cells. We have also a lot of different surveillance cells, and we have suppressor cells as well, and they all regulate each other. They can release chemicals to attract different types of cells to the site of the war. So all of these cells, they work together in synergy, and in this way, our immune system is amazingly complex. When we take care of our immune system, we're taking care of this complex process. So it's no surprise that only nutrition can really help us, and doctors don't really have any medication that can help your immune system. Another really special cell we have is called the natural killer cell, or the NK cell. And it's like the name suggests, it can give the kiss of death. Now, it's not really there to find foreign invaders. It's there to find and destroy tumor cells, or cells that our body believes is abnormal. So you can see here on the screen, your natural killer cells will survey your body. It floats around and it will find any cells that look strange, any cells that really shouldn't be there. And when it finds a cancer cell, doesn't matter where it is, from the liver to the lung, the natural killer cell will release substances that can destroy it. So nothing is comparable to our own immune system. However, there are some diseases that can arise when our immune system isn't working as well as it should. These diseases are autoimmune diseases. An autoimmune disease arises when the immune system gets confused and attacks your body's own cells. As mentioned before, our immune system is really good at identifying and attacking foreign invaders. But when your immune system confuses your own body's cells for a foreign invader, then it will attack your own body and cause an autoimmune disease. For example, type 1 diabetes, lupus, and rheumatoid arthritis. Unfortunately, the treatment for autoimmune diseases tends to be to suppress the entire immune system. If the immune system is suppressed, then it's not working as well as it should. This means that it's not attacking the foreign invaders anymore or your body's own cells anymore. And so it's less effective at defending you against infections. This means that these people are more at risk of more severe infections and more at risk from dying from these infections. Their incidence of cancer is also increased as the immune system doesn't work as well, killing off cancer cells before they grow into full-blown cancer. Today, it's the nutrition that we eat that is the most important factor for fighting off disease, for boosting our immune system. There is no drug that doctors can use to improve your immune system. A functional and healthy immune system can only be nourished by the food that we eat and our lifestyle habits. Nutrition isn't about what is delicious. It should be based on what you want the food to give you, what you want to improve in yourself. You should pick your foods depending on how the food will improve your health and your immune system.